Hey, Michelle, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Can you learn English in just 30 minutes a day?
Oh my gosh, there is so much you can do to learn English in 30 minutes a day and 30 minutes a week, whatever it is. Guys, today we are going to be talking about how you can use a 30-minute chunk of time to learn and practice your English. There are a lot of ways to do it, so we're going to give you tips today, right, Lindsay?
Yeah, we're going to get into it. But first, guys, if you are here watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss a single episode of All Ears English on YouTube. Let's get started, Michelle.
All right.
Hello, Michelle. How's it going today?
Hey, Lindsay. Good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm so excited to be here. I'm actually recording from Boston. I'm excited. I'm looking out over the ocean. It's a beautiful day here in Boston. How's the weather in New York City?
It's chilly today. It is. Yeah, I was walking and it is. But yesterday was beautiful and warm, and today it's not so much that it's so chilly. It's also just the wind. It's very windy.
The wind. It gets so windy on the East Coast. It's true. Did you go for a long walk or just like a 10-minute walk or a 30-minute walk, or how much time were you walking?
Total. Well, I was with my son for part of the walk, and that was the long part of the walk. It was the same distance. One way with him took about 25 minutes, and then one way without him took about 10 minutes.
Oh, everything takes longer with your son is what you're telling me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that building. Look at that. What's that? So, yeah.
Well, he's not on a tight schedule. I mean, he's got, a lot of extra time. He's not concerned about the time yet, right?
No, he's not. No.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there are, I actually yesterday I did take a 30-minute walk.
Nice. That's a good, I feel like 30 minutes is such a good amount of time to do something substantial, but not to overcommit,
Right. It is kind of a good amount of time. You don't feel overwhelmed. Do you ever like when you're watching a TV show, or if you're about to start a new show and you're like, how long are the episodes? And you see that each episode is an hour and you're like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want to commit to that, but if you see it's 30 minutes, it's much less of a commitment.
Totally. 30 minutes is so digestible. That's a great bonus phrase for today, digestible, right? We can finish it. And it's also, I think I've mentioned before, the Pomodoro method is a time management system. I believe those times are either 30, 35, or 40 minutes, somewhere in that window. That's just, you can do it, but you don't lose focus. That's the key, Michelle, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So, Lindsay, I'm glad that you brought up this 30-minute thing, because one thing that people can do is learn English in 30 minutes, right? Practice your English in 30 minutes, right? Through focused practice. Do you think it's possible to learn a language in 30 minutes?
Well, like learn the entire language in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, maybe there are some geniuses that can. I wish I had that skill. No. But I think if you commit yourself to doing anything for 30 minutes every day for a couple of years, in that case, I do think if you do the right things in those 30 minutes, I think you could. Yeah.
Right. And all learning really depends on like what you put into it. So your motivation, the context of your learning, how much time you have, things like that. So, you can learn and practice some English every day or every couple of days in 30 minutes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And guys, this episode is on YouTube. So remember to hit subscribe wherever not wherever, because you are watching this on YouTube. So go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. But let's talk about, like, Lindsay, how can we learn English or practice English in 30 minutes?
All right, guys. So today we have 4 different ideas. 4 different things that you can do if you only have 30 minutes a day, or even 30 minutes a week is okay, right? This is a 30-minute chunk of time that you can dedicate. The first thing you can do, Michelle, is you can listen to a TV show or a podcast. If you listen to All Ears English, you can do 2 in 30 minutes. And we designed that on purpose, didn't we, Michelle, for our listeners?
Exactly. You can listen to 2 All Ears English in 30 minutes and feel accomplished, right?
Exactly.
Or you can watch a 30-minute TV show. Most sitcoms are 30 minutes. Or actually less. So whatever it is, make it a 30-minute thing. And, just listen to something, watch something, and take notes if that works for you.
Yeah, we're back onto some of our shows that came back up in the fall, right? So we're back onto The Good Doctor. And I think when you take out ads, it ends up being like
22,
20 minutes or something
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, but if you record it ahead of time and then you go back, you can fast forward the ads. That is a hack. That is a hack, right? So New Amsterdam, I like The Good Doctor. What are you into these days, Michelle?
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, you told me about that. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Ted Lasso. Oh God. I mean, I'm still just watching Seinfeld over and over. What else am I watching? There are a few shows that I'm considering starting, but I'm kind of just working my way through Ted Lasso, and I'll probably be done with that in a couple days. And,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, keep us up to date. If you find anything good and new that our listeners could also jump onto, let us know in those 30 minutes. So good. So good. Yes.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Lindsay, another thing that you guys could do is have a 30-minute conversation clock, right?
Yeah.
Talk with a friend for 30 minutes. Now, this might seem, sometimes I might say talk with a friend for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or any amount of time. And any amount of time is good, but 30 minutes is a really deep amount of time where you can have this deeper discussion. You can talk about something you watched. You can talk about something personal. You can talk about a problem. You can talk about real life. So 30 minutes, just time it for 30 minutes. See what happens. Even though it might seem intimidating, just see what happens. Even if there's a moment where you're like, I don't know what to say, see if you can keep it going. And that's the challenge.
Yeah, I like this kind of method because it changes the dynamic of the conversation a little bit and it becomes kind of a fun little challenge. It's a bit like the Pomodoro method because you're hitting a timer and you're saying, I'm going to do this very one thing, for 30 minutes. It also reminds me of the IELTS exam. In speaking part 2, guys, you need to speak for the full 2 minutes. You need to tell a story, okay? And by the way, Michelle, where can our listeners go if they want to learn more about speaking part 2 on IELTS and all the speaking parts on the IELTS exam?
Oh my gosh, go listen to Jessica and Aubrey on the IELTS Energy podcast.
Yeah, you got it. So that's the second suggestion from us here today, guys. Talk to a friend for 30 minutes. Make it work. Make it happen. Love it. What else, Michelle?
The next thing you can do is read something and explain it to a friend. So maybe you have the first 15 minutes where maybe you're both reading the same thing. Maybe you're reading one thing and the other person's reading another thing, but say, okay, something that could take you 10 or 15 minutes, and then you have the rest of the time to explain what you read to the other person and discuss.
Oh, okay, I like it. So this is again going with the stopwatch method, right, Michelle? Like we're starting the clock and then we're going to stop it, but you're going to spend 30 minutes just so you have to go into real depth then in your explanation if you're going to talk for 30 minutes, right?
Right. And this one is also involved with reading. You could even, it doesn't have to be reading, guys. We've talked recently about like reading and writing and things like that. It could be that you read something for 15 minutes and then you write about it for 15 minutes. Why not have this do something, have something to do with writing here?
Yeah. The thing is, what we're doing here, guys, is we're putting constraints and we're making this a habit. So we're saying, from 8 to 8:30 a.m., nice and fresh in the morning, every day I'm going to do this exercise, and then I'm going to be done with my English. It's kind of nice that way because you tick the box, right? I'm very task-oriented. Are you, Michelle?
Yes.
I think you are pretty task-oriented.
I am.
You get your work done for the day. So good.
Oh, yeah. And actually that leads into the last tip that we have. So you said it reminds me of exercise, right?
Yes.
So you have your exercise and this is something, guys, I think, what do they say? You should exercise 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I don't
something
hit that.
like that. No.
I don't hit that anymore, but I'm still working. I'm still, guys, I am still exercising, but more like 3 days a week. But yeah, you do. So do it during exercise, guys. Maybe distract yourself from the burn. Lindsay, what does that mean? The burn?
The burn. I had the burn last night in my Orange Theory class. Oh my gosh, the burn. We know, right? It's when the muscles, you feel it in the muscles and they are the what is it? The glucose?
Lactic acid. I think it's the lactic acid.
It's the lactic acid. Yes, you got it, Michelle.
I'm a scientist.
It's building up in your muscle and you just feel it. It burns. It hurts, right? Especially at the end of a long sprint. You're pushing your body. So what could we do here, Michelle, then during that exercise?
Well, first of all, you could, whatever exercise you're doing, if you're doing like a video, I mean, so we have the Peloton.
Yeah, you have.
And and sometimes Dan, I mean, he's not trying to learn German, but like there's like a German teacher, and sometimes Dan will just like take a class in German. So maybe like take an exercise class in a different language. I mean, try it in English, like, you know, because there are going to be little things that you pick up on from that. So, or distract yourself, count down in English. While you're exercising, you could also just name things around the room. Like if you're like lifting, just be like, okay, while I'm doing these 10 reps, I'm going to name 10 things in the room. Or something like that. Just try and think in English during your workout.
And this is totally I feel like this is the secret to learning a language. This is how I learned Spanish quickly, by always having an inner dialogue. I think because my mind in general is so darn busy all the time. But in this case, it worked in a good way, in a positive way. It helped me because at that point, the dialogue in English in my head became in Spanish, right? It was now in Spanish. So I was just saying things that I was narrating in my head. It's like your own neuroses becomes your best asset when it comes to learning a language.
It's true. That's the goal is, like we talk about, thinking in English. And so just make it that extra challenge to think in English during a workout, or think in English while you're doing something else.
Yes. Or like you said, Michelle, just repeating. If you're taking an exercise class, a Peloton class for our listeners, if it's in English, you can just repeat the instruction from the teacher. And that's simple practice, right?
Right. Yeah. There's so many ways to get creative with it. I mean, in 30 minutes, what can you learn? I mean, you could learn a list of vocabulary words, maybe like 5 words is a good thing. Yeah. 5, 6, 7 words, right? What else could you learn in 30 minutes or practice?
I mean, you could learn a new grammar concept and you could practice it. Or you could just reinforce it by practicing it. You could totally learn a new current event, right? You could use the news as your subject. You can go out, read the New York Times, understand what's going on with the economy right now, right? Inflation is a big deal right now. Learn about that and use English to dive into it and to explain it and talk about it. So good. Right.
Or a piece of cultural information. Maybe you're watching a TV show and you learn something about the culture through that. So like you can also, instead of just going in and saying, oh, I'm just watching this show, you can be like, okay, well, what do I want to learn in this 30 minutes? Do I want to learn vocabulary? Am I looking for something cultural?
Right.
Am I listening for maybe a potential grammar point? Right. Ooh. So you can go in with that goal as well.
Yeah. We're being intentional.
Add an extra layer. Yes, exactly.
Yes. I think the most successful language learners, Michelle, they are intentional about how they're learning, about what they're doing, and why they're learning the language, right? It's all about being intentional. Don't let life just guide you to where it wants to take you. You take life by the horns, right, as we say, and just go to where you want to go, guys. I mean, that's huge. That's a part of being happy, right, Michelle?
Exactly. So be intentional with it. Have fun. It is kind of fun to say, what am I doing in this 30-minute chunk of time? And just like fun. Exercise, if you're going to do an exercise for 30 minutes, have it. This is your exercise too. Think of it in that way.
Exactly. It's a way to not feel guilty about not studying, right? Because when you're saying I have to study English, it's so nebulous. It's so broad. When, how, what, how long? But if instead you say every day from 7 to 7:30, I'm going to study, I'm going to do one thing for 30 minutes, that takes care of it. And then you're done.
And that's how you feel at the end of exercise, right? Sometimes I'm sure you go, I think most human beings going into exercise, it's kind of like, maybe you start to get a little bit more excited about it as it becomes a habit. But then actually the other day, Dan said to me, there is never a time when he regrets doing exercise.
Yes.
Like sometimes it's hard to go on, but like at the end, you always feel better. Of course, unless you injure yourself, knock on wood. But like I don't think anybody then thinks like, that was awful. Why did I do that? There's usually some, the endorphins are flowing and you usually feel good. And I think that the same is for learning something.
Exactly. It's not always easy to get off the couch and go to that workout class. And the same with this. But it's almost like you're doing your thinking ahead of time. The planning's already done for you with this 30-minute plan. It's already done. All you got to do is execute the plan, and you will have those endorphins, right? You'll have that feeling of, I did it, I'm done, I can go do whatever I want today now. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So Lindsay, I mean, what's the takeaway for today?
The answer is, Michelle, you can learn English in 30 minutes. Absolutely. I would say it could be more effective than 3 hours if you do the right things and if you do it regularly. Yeah, yes. For sure. Yeah.
It's a perfect amount of time to practice. So let us know which one of these tips connected with you the most.
Yes.
You know, do you do 30 minutes? Do you do a different amount of time? But try it for 30 minutes. See how the 30-minute thing goes.
I love it. So good. Can't wait to hear from our listeners on this, Michelle. And thanks for hanging out on today's episode.
All right, Lindsay, guys, remember to hit subscribe on YouTube.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.